Welcome to Widow Too Soon. This is Michelle Bader Ebersole. I had a little change of plans. I had a different episode ready to go, but in light of the current events that have happened, I've changed because I really want to talk about Erika Kirk and what she's going through. This episode is not about politics. People keep getting this wrong. This is not about politics. This is understanding the heart of a broken widow, which I know we can all understand. You can probably sense the more like somber tone I have today. This has weighed heavy on me since the day I found out about Charlie Kirk's murder. And I know it's been weighing really heavy on everyone in the widowed community. I've been seeing it. And so I just wanted to make space to talk about this because I know it's really heavy. And why is it so heavy for us? I don't care what you believe politically. We all can remember the moment our husbands or our wives died, and we didn't have to do it publicly. This poor, beautiful woman is doing it all publicly. Like, I can't even imagine. No, I don't like that phrase. Yes, I can imagine, but I don't know what it would be like, number one, to have that horrible of a death, and number two, for everybody to be watching every move you make. Oh my goodness. So I just wanted to make space to talk about this and to chat about why is this affecting the widow community so big? Because I see it. And some people are taking it politically, but this is not a politics. I don't get into politics ever, and especially I will not do politics on a podcast, on my podcast. But what I am going to talk about is the heart of a grieving widow. And why is this bringing up? If you're listening to this, I can pretty much guarantee you've been affected by this in some way. So I'm going to tell you kind of how it affected me and just, I don't know, just some thoughts and just acknowledging that this happened and that it might be affecting how you're grieving. It may have brought up grief. I had a massively grief day the day that this happened. So kind of my experience. And then I want to talk about what Erika Kirk just talked about 2 days after her husband's death. And you can watch, I'll link the video. You can watch the whole video on YouTube. And wow, what a strong woman. So I'm going to kind of back it up and talk about my experience with this, whole thing going on. So, my son is a Charlie Kirk fan. I didn't really know much about him, honestly. So again, I'm not going into all the things he stood for, all of that. But he had told me earlier in the day that he had been shot, and another friend had texted me, pray for him. Okay, so I accidentally saw the video. For some reason, I decided to do a search, and it was before they had taken down all the violent videos, and I actually saw the video of him being shot, and it was very traumatic. It threw me back into, even though Luke's death was completely different, and you may be feeling these same things, so I just wanted to talk about it. It was the fact of seeing somebody die. Like, it just, it brought me to trauma. It brought me to the moment that Luke died and what that was like. And then it brought me thinking about his wife and his kids. And it just brought me back. And so that was a hard day. And I've got a group of women that were going through the workbook of widow goals, and we had a call that night, and we were all feeling deeply affected by this. And then I've seen it in the widow community. And so I just wanted to address that we might all be feeling it. So that's kind of what it did for me. And then it was even more so when I saw Erika's speech. I could relate to so many of the things she was saying, and I think we all can. Just a few of the things. Here's a quote. She said, "Never ever, I will never ever have the words to explain the loss I have in my heart. How many of you can relate to that? I will never, ever have the words to explain the loss I have in my heart. That just says it perfectly. There's not words enough to express what it feels like when you have that loss. She said, I don't know what this means, but God does. Isn't that the truth? Like, most of us have no idea. Like, we don't know why this happened. Here I am 5 years later. I don't know why Luke died, but I can see some beauty. I can see some beautiful things. You wouldn't be sitting here listening to this if he hadn't died. My retreats wouldn't be happening. The book wouldn't be happening. Like, I can look at it and see some reasons. I mean, not reasons, but some beauty from ashes. But I don't know what this means, but God does. I was like, whoa, totally. There were so many things. She read Romans 8:28, that God works all things together for those who love the Lord. And that was actually when Luke was sick, we had these bracelets made and they said, Luke strong. And then they said Romans 8:28. And that was like our verse. Like, we don't know why, but God's going to work it all together. And she quoted that verse. So I could definitely relate to that. She talked about how she couldn't sleep last night. How many of us have been there? How many of us have laid awake night after night asking God why? And just feeling that pain. This was actually my favorite quote. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. And I was like, oh, she has such passion right now. She has such somebody. So there's a lot of negativity. I delete it when I see it. But somebody had said, this is political, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't like her tone. I'm like, what kind of tone would you have if your husband had just been murdered and you were publicly addressing the whole world? What kind of tone would you have? You hear my tone? I'm a little bit passionate about this. Like, this woman lost her husband publicly. Her babies are 1 and 3. They didn't even get a chance to really know their dad. What kind of tone would you have? What kind of tone have we had after we lost our spouse? Like, I want people to take the stupid politics out of this. This is not about this. This is about this grieving woman. And why is it affecting the widow community so much? And I think it's because we all see ourselves in her. Whether you agree with, their message or not, you can see yourself in her. And she is publicly, what's interesting is this is what happens all around the world every day, right? But the world is actually seeing it. They are publicly seeing how a widow is grieving and publicly seeing it. And it's like, this happens every single day, but she's bringing light to it, to the widow world and what we're going through. And I just think it's so beautiful the way she is so passionate about continuing his mission. I mean, how many of us are passionate about continuing our late spouse's mission, whatever that was, right? So we get that. We can put ourselves in her shoes and say, I'm going to continue this mission of my husband. I'm going to continue. He did not die in vain. She did not die in vain, right? Like, we can get that. We can understand that sentiment of like, no, I want to, like, if he had to die, she had to die. I am going to do something with my life. There is going to be good coming out of this. I am going to continue their mission, and they're going to live on. Their legacy continues to live on through us. We are the ones who continue to get to talk about them and want to continue their legacy. Like, I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing right now as far as career if Luke hadn't died. And of course, I would never choose that, but his legacy continues. I will never stop fighting for his legacy. He did not die in vain. And the cries of this widow will and are echoing around the world like a battle cry. Like, so I can relate to that. I think those words resonate with me so much because I feel it. I could feel it as I saw her speak. And like my cries are echoing around the world, literally with this podcast, literally with the book. And so I feel like I can relate to this on such a deep level. And so I think that's the reason that I'm so passionate and I'm feeling this heaviness this past week, because I know myself and my widow family, we're feeling this no matter what you believe politically. Like, no matter what, we're feeling this. And I love how she said, I'll never let your legacy die. And that's what I desire to. Like, I could put myself in her shoes. Not, I mean, totally different lives, but like that feeling of like, it reminds me of when I did Luke's, I did a speech at his graveside service, and then I also did a speech at his celebration of life. And it reminds me of how she talks to him, that I was talking to Luke. And, you know, she said that she's, loves that Charlie heard, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And I like, as Luke was dying, I actually said that to him. I said, "You're going to hear, 'Well done, my good and faithful servant,' today." You're going to hear that. And I know that he did. His life wasn't in front of cameras. He wasn't doing all of these big things that people saw, but he had a solid faith. His kids saw that. He was always reading his Bible. When he was in the hospital, the very first time with his cancer, when he was 25, he was always reading his Bible. And that was before we had the Bible app, right? And the nurses always were so impressed by that. He had just like this strong, silent faith. And I know that his legacy lives on in what I'm doing today. And Luke, I will not let your legacy die. Oh my gosh, like I had no idea it was like gonna affect me this much. Even starting this podcast, I didn't even know exactly what I was gonna say, but God always gives me the words. And actually, Andrea Lemon, who you guys will meet next week, she actually had the idea of talking about this, and I'm like, yeah, that's a really great idea. And then I just felt really strongly like we need to address this. And I went back and I watched her whole, I'd seen pieces, but I just watched her whole speech, and I'm going to link it so you can watch it. And I just wrote down things that stuck out to me. And I was like, I get this. Like, I get this woman's pain. And there were just so many things that I was like, even down to this, listen to this. She was talking about like sports teams he liked. And she said he loved the Oregon Ducks. And he'd want me to say, "Go Ducks." And that's actually, those words are actually on Luke's headstone. It says "Go Ducks," because he loved the Oregon Ducks. So I was just like, I think I was, as I was watching this, I was literally, I could feel it, like down to "Go Ducks." Like, I could feel that pain. And that's the thing about grief. Like, we can be brought back in a second. The difference now, 5 years later, is I don't live there. Like, I'll feel this right now, but I'll be okay. It's not going to keep me down all day. But I could literally feel what she was saying. And I think that's why this is hitting me so deeply. And I'm also angry. I'm angry at the way some people are reacting. I can't even say the things. They're too bad, but I just delete them and block them and like, no, this is about a widow. Funny story. Probably she's not listening because she doesn't realize this is a podcast. She doesn't know who I am. So somebody, like, I posted, the picture with the cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. I posted it in my Widow Too Soon page, which now has over 13,000 people, and they don't even realize it's a podcast, which kind of bothers me sometimes, but okay, whatever. I'm providing a community. And then she was like, this breaks rule number 3, politics. And I'm like, no, it's not about politics. It's about praying for a broken widow. And then she comes back with like, no, I don't know, something about, when this person posted it, it was politics. And I'm like, well, when she posted it, I was like, I just thought it was funny that she could just go up and see that I posted it. And I go, well, she is the creator of the group. Smiley face. And then she was like, so she gets to do whatever she wants. She still has no idea. It's me. And I said, well, she can decide whether it's political or not. And it's not. And then I'm like, I can't remember. Like, I never said anything mean. I was just like, she can decide what she wants to do with the group because she created it, right? And I also don't see it as political. Anything I have seen as political, I take down because I just don't want to go there. But I see this as the broken heart of a widow. And so, what can we take away from this? Well, if you're feeling it, feel it. For what we feel, God can heal, right? So, if you're feeling this grief being brought up, feel it, please, because you need to work through it. Grief, you can't go around it, can't go under it, can't go over it, got to go through it. So, if this is bringing up grief for you, like it is for me, and maybe even deeper grief if you're a newer widow, let yourself feel it, but don't stay there. And I want you to ask yourself, this is just coming to me right now. How are you continuing your spouse's legacy? I mean, maybe they didn't have some big message, but how can your life, like, how can you take it and make it into something beautiful to honor them? How can you never let their legacy die? I want to challenge you today. What can you do to continue their legacy? Because we can all do this in different ways. Not all of us, well, most of us didn't have a spouse with some big public platform, but every life has a legacy. And so, what are you doing today to continue your spouse's legacy? I kind of feel like that's maybe like the whole point of this episode. Like, let's feel the pain because we're feeling it. But what can we do? I always like to turn it around into a positive space. So, like, yeah, we're feeling it. Let's feel it. Let's let God heal it. And then ask God, how can I continue his or her legacy? What can I do today? And just look for God to show you. Ask him. Wait in silence and see what he reveals to you. Think about it. Like, okay, what can I do? And so I really want to challenge you that today. Also, I'm going to put this in the show notes. Somebody posted how we can send Erika Kirk a card. So I'd love it if the Widow Too Soon community would send her a card. It's going to be in the show notes. We have a Widow Goals group tonight. I'm going to have them all sign it for her. Who knows if she'll actually personally read it. It goes to Turning Point, but still want to send her that. I'm going to send her a book. So this is going to be a short and sweet episode today. So also want to remind you that if you are a widow, sorry, women only on this one, you are invited to the retreat. We are definitely over halfway full. Not sure where we're going to cap it. We have 43 registered as of today. We're either going to 60 or 80, probably capping at 80, not sure, but make sure you register. We've only had registration open like a little over a week and it's over half full. And if you want to go, it's January 22nd through 25th in Dallas, Texas. And it's going to be an amazing time. We have dynamic speakers coming, breakout sessions. There's a ropes course, zip line. You don't have to, only if you want to. We're going to have a big old celebration night with some line dancing. So don't want to miss that. If you don't like line dancing, you can just watch and laugh at the rest of us. But it's going to be a great time. I mean, we're in Texas, right? We got to get out our boots and we got a boot scoot boogie. So it's going to be super fun. You're going to get to meet me in person. I get to meet you in person. It's going to be so much fun. So we're gathering widows from all over the world. I think we have a few from Canada registered. We'd love to have you. And it's enough time that usually people can arrange this. And we keep it super, super affordable. If you want to share a room with someone, it's 3 nights, 8 meals, $450. Like, I can't find any retreats that, are that affordable. If you want your own room, it's $650 for the 8 meals and 3 nights. It's going to start Thursday, the 22nd in the evening and end Sunday early afternoon. So it's going to be such a great time. I am praying for you guys right now. Let me know if you have any questions about that. You can go to widowgoals.org/retreat to find out more details. So I'm going to go ahead and close in prayer. God, I just thank you that you are making beauty from ashes. I thank you for each widow and widower listening today. God, I just pray that you reveal to them how they can continue the legacy of their spouse. God, I pray specifically for Erika Kirk. God, she is such a brave, amazing woman. I just pray that you pour down your peace like never before on her. God, I pray for her sweet babies, God, that they probably don't understand at this point, God, that you will just give them joy, give them peace as they grow up and they learn more about this situation, that you will come close to them. And I just thank you for every single person listening, God. I pray, just go into their brokenness. Heal them. Give them the peace that passes all understanding. May they know you in a deeper way today. God, you love widows so much. You are a defender of widows. I pray that you defend each person listening today. God, I just pray that they find joy. Somebody reaches out to them, like something, they see a beautiful sunset. Like, I don't know, just in your unique way to each person, I pray that you just pour down your blessings and your peace and your love. And we just thank you for all that you've done. Amen. If you like this podcast, give it a little bing, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. If you want to join our smaller community, maybe, Widow Too Soon podcast community, please send me a Facebook message and I will add you to that. And we have our bigger one is just Widow Too Soon community. What else? If you want to be on the podcast, please let me know. You've got a story. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's part of how you're going to continue your spouse's legacy is through the podcast. Think about it. Love to have you. We all have stories. Fill out the application. Little hack. Make sure you have, so when it says, what can you bring to the listeners or what inspiration, make sure you put something, because if you have nothing, I don't know why. I know you have something, you just have to put it down. So I'll know why you should be on the podcast, because I always want to bring it back. We might have our hard things, like today we had a little dip, but bring it back to positivity. And so make sure you put down what is the thing that you can do to help inspire the readers. And anyway, so this has been a different kind of episode, but I think very, very needed. I'd love your feedback in the comments or on Facebook or somewhere if you're feeling this too. And I'd love to know, let me know how you're going to honor your husband's or your wife's legacy. So love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.